Today we're talking about Minecraft, not the game. Actually, I should say a Minecraft movie, but this isn't a movie review. Really, it's an excuse for our community moderator, Guillaume, or sometimes we call him William, and I to talk about learning. Because you might be surprised, but we see a lot of parallels between Minecraft and self-discovery, creativity, and how to practice accent work creatively. We also thought it would be nice to demonstrate getting pronunciation feedback at the same time. Now, it's not going to be all the time, but when I see a pattern, you're going to hear me stop and correct him when there's a pronunciation mistake. For example, if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, you're going to see me make this gesture when he forgets the y sound, as in popular. But if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, I'm doing what's called a shaka sign. Imagine like a surfer or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle saying hang loose. So see if you can count how many times I catch his missing y during this episode. Now, let's get on with the show. I'm Bianca, your personal American accent coach, and I'm here to help you master an American accent in English because your voice is your choice when it comes to how you sound. I try to release a podcast episode every 2 weeks, and so you should really subscribe to whatever podcast platform you use so that you don't miss the newest episode. Woohoo! William is back! It's been a long time since we've had a podcast recording, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was last year, could be.
Yeah, and didn't you say, hey, I'm going to compare these two when I watch the video on YouTube to see if I've lost weight, to see if I've slimmed down a little bit, right?
Yeah. Could be the case, yeah.
Yeah, right? We'll have to wait and see.
For you, it's very easy because you have different hairstyles, so you can tell when you...
All the time.
Yeah, but I always keep this more or less the same, so it's hard to tell across time because it's always the same appearance.
Exactly. Yeah. For you, no time has passed. But for me, you can tell if it's last week or I'm always like, oh, did I put the same shirt on? And then I forget, oh, wait, my hair's a different color or it's in a different color style. So yeah, details, just details. But anyways, I'm glad to see you back here, recording with you because actually, literally, I see you 1, 2, maybe 3 times a week generally because you are the moderator of our Discord community where we have all the people who come together for our accent. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about and then we'll have a better intro from you. So what are we here to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about Minecraft, right? Yeah. And you had this great idea. I want to talk about how did we decide to have this episode? Because I never played Minecraft growing up. And I actually didn't have that many games. I had an Atari. I don't even know if you know what an Atari is.
Yeah, I know what it is, but I'm not old enough to have played that.
Yeah, that's what I had. And then I had a Game Boy a little bit later, but I was never into Minecraft. I know it was huge. It was globally, it's been huge, And so I never personally played it, but not that long ago, maybe within the last year, I had a client who was saying some words. I forget why we were talking about it, but he was saying some words for Minecraft. And I thought, hey, if he plays all the time, he should probably know what these words are. So that kind of got me thinking. I started making a list. I had all these words that I was going to do a video all about Minecraft, which I still am. But then the movie was announced and I thought, oh my God, it's perfect timing. So that kind of brought us to, hey, we haven't done an episode in a while. Let's do this. But what about for you? How did you, let's say, get involved with Minecraft? Because I think that's an interesting story.
So I played Minecraft since last year. Basically, we had an idea in a company. I co-founded a small company. Everyone works remotely. And okay, let's do some games, have some fun at least once a week, right? We can have small talk because we cannot have coffee in the office because it's remote, right? So we tried some Discord games or some games online, but after a while they get boring and so on. And the boss proposed Minecraft. Back in the day, I said, doesn't sound appealing. I don't know, but it's because it's very good for playing together with voice, so you talk to each other, and you can do whatever because it's like a sandbox. So I was kind of skeptical because I'm an adult, right? I'm not a kid. Minecraft is not for me, right? Mm-hmm. And then we're hooked. We have a server that we play once or twice a week.
Okay.
And it was, I think, by the end of the last year. And then, hey, there's a movie coming out. Not the Minecraft movie. It's a Minecraft movie.
Right.
Yeah.
The title is very intriguing.
And it is, you know what? I will do an exception and I will go to the movies to watch a movie that is aimed at children, at kids. It's very rare. I never go to watch Disney movies or something like that. For me, it's very rare. So I did this exception, and it's, oh wow, the movie also glances on the creativity or self-discovery of that, how we can scope it to our domain, that is accent practice. How you can practice accent creatively. So even if you think that you cannot learn something from Minecraft as an adult, let me know that that is wrong.
I'm here to tell you.
I'm here to tell you because I am also guilty of this.
Right, because you used to think that too, and then you discovered it as a player, and it sounds also very collaborative too, right? So a lot of players are very individualistic, but this can be creative, very collaborative, right? Instead of super competitive. But I think there's a competitive aspect to it, which we'll get to later. But you got this idea of it, like you saw it in a different light. And I think that's partly because of your background too, not just as a moderator in our community, basically since forever, but also because of your personal interest. And I also feel like because of just like who you are and what you do for your real job, right? Your full-time job is not to be moderator for our community. You have another job. So tell us a little bit about like what you do outside of that. And then we can maybe talk about how they're connected, because I'm really excited to talk about the creativity aspect.
Just to puntualize that being a moderator, it's a real job. It's just not my main job. It's not like a YouTuber on the comments. They will say, oh, get a real job. No, being a YouTuber is not a real job. Which, by the way, I also run a YouTube.
Right, exactly. We both know that that's a job in itself, right? That's
a job. I don't
get. You do it as a hobby, for sure, but not us.
I don't get paid for it. Well, not directly.
But it's work, yeah.
So then we can say that I have been forever on the server as a moderator and helping whatever. But that is a sidekick. It doesn't consume most of my time. I have my day job. They co-founded the company some years ago. It's called Soki AI. Basically, my position is to be more or less the thought leader as an expert of self-directed learning, meaning you learn by yourself. So you don't go to an academy or to have a tutor that tells you exactly what to do. It's not the same tutor that can coach, like an accent coach, nothing to do. Yeah. So self-directed learning is compatible with coaches, for instance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why I always think as, hey, that can be a learning experience, or Minecraft is excellent for self-directedness. I have seen people, I know one Chinese person, now he's in his 20s, he had no English at all, zero. And he learned English by watching YouTube videos about Minecraft. Because also, Minecraft is also a game that there's no story, so that you don't know what to do, or because it's a sandbox, it's very open.
Yeah.
So you Google what to do, how you do this, how to do that. So you see videos, but they are in English. And he speaks English better than I do now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And
it was
through
Minecraft. First, passively through YouTube videos, and then actively talking to other people playing Minecraft.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, that's kind of similar to your story too, because you were really into basketball and there were all these topics, and that directedness is what kind of took you to the language, because before that you were like, oh, I have language in school, I have English in school. And there was not a passion there before that,
Yeah, exactly. And for instance, if you're an adult, if you have children, you can play. If they have enough age, they are 7 or something. So it's also a parenting and a learning experience, and you can also have fun. And not just fun, as a parent, you can also learn.
That's a good point. Yeah. And that's a good way that people can learn kind of together or do things together. And then it also fosters an opportunity for language. You know what I mean? So yeah. Okay. So that's a really good segue into our first topic, which is, like we said, self-discovery, right? Is what children kind of do through play. And then they kind of learn about who they are. So I want to talk about that, but let's back up just a second, and let's kind of meta talk about language, right? Because we said we're going to use this as an opportunity to kind of demonstrate with people what it's like to be kind of speaking spontaneously and speaking very quickly, but also getting some, let's say, correction here and there, and what that's like and what you can do with it, when you have somebody who's willing to help you out with that. So for example, just now, the word parent, right? There's a little stresses on the first one, parent. There's another adjective though, parental, right? So I think you said parenting. They're busy parenting, but it should be parenting. The syllable stress is on the same one.
Parent.
Just to know. Parenting, yes. And then there was another word you mentioned a little bit ago. It's academy. Academy. So syllable stress. I've seen two words now. I think what you said was academy, but yeah, academy and parenting. So just to say that we told people we were going to catch you every once in a while, not all the time, obviously.
Yeah.
We don't want to slow you down, but we do want to just make your brain a little bit more aware of those things because we know you're interested, right? Yeah. So that's a little quick pause and it's an aside. So while we're talking, I'm going to make a couple notes. I might stop you every once in a while, but just for those things, right? So let's talk about self-discovery, I would say, in crafting identity. I should mention, if I haven't yet, that I haven't seen the movie yet, in fact, because I'm waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray. So I haven't seen the movie, so I'm going to rely a lot on you to talk about the movie. So that's going to be in your wheelhouse today.
Yeah. Even though, to the listener, if you haven't watched the movie either, no worries. You will get most of the value anyways, because we're not going to discuss the movie or do a movie review anyways.
Good point.
Yeah, but more or less as a starting point that, what is self-discovery? What is to be creative or to have talent, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
most importantly, how we can implement that. Because for our sphere, it's all about accent practice and things like that. And you wouldn't think, a Minecraft movie or Minecraft the game and accent stuff go together, but you would be surprised and I was surprised and you were surprised. So now we want to bring that to everybody else, right? But yeah, absolutely not a movie review. We're really just talking about what can we take away from it and how can we apply it, to this other thing that we've got to. So yeah, self-discovery. For example, I remember that when I was living in France, when I was a teenager, I was about 16 years old. I learned the language in school, kind of like you. I learned French in school, but it wasn't great. And when I went there, I was a teenager. I was a teenage girl. And I realized years later, that my French was kind of stuck in that teenage girl position. So I had all this vocabulary that was useful back in the 90s, not so much anymore. So even now when I speak French to somebody, it's really funny how there's this identity and this self that we can think about crafting kind of through language, right? So when I said that we were going to talk about this, that's what it made me think about. But tell me your impression about the movie and how that made you think about these things.
Okay. So Steve, the protagonist, I think in the movie it's just a kid, but very quickly he becomes adult, in a few minutes. He always wanted to be inside the mine, to be a miner and so on, but he couldn't enter, stuff like this, right? So he had this desire that couldn't reach. And then in the movie, what happens is that he's in real life, and for whatever reason, with a stone and something, he goes inside the Minecraft world.
Ah, okay.
That's more or less the premise, right? But he is inside as an adult himself, not as a kid. And so here the rules are different because it's a video game, it's not real life, and I can create blocks, so I can express my creativity. But then there's one question that raises, for instance, what is to be talent? For instance, if you know yourself, you will be able...
Can you say that part again? What's the question that arises?
To have talent. For instance, a person who knows themselves very well, they know their talent. I have a talent for this and for that. And a person that doesn't know, for instance, there's America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
My talent is singing or do stupid things, which also happens in the show, right?
And anything can be a talent.
Yeah, sticking something in the tongue or whatever the stupid things there are. But hey, you have a talent for that, for whatever reason. If you don't know, you haven't expressed, you haven't followed your own curiosity, what's going to happen that you don't know what you are good at. What is my talent? I don't know. I have known people that I don't know because I always do the same thing, or I'm being instructed to this, do this, do that. Or the other option is that people will say, I have no talent.
Right. Because they just don't know, right? Yeah, exactly.
It's not that you don't have talent. It's that you're not aware of the talent you have because you haven't explored.
Yes, you said a word a moment ago, so I want to stop you with a quick correction. You said curiosity, but I think you already know this one. What should it be?
Oh, my friend, you are right.
Yeah, sound right.
Curiosity.
In the beginning, cure.
Cure.
Yeah.
Like cure.
Curiosity. Like I'm going to cancer.
Yeah.
Curiosity. Exactly. And this is an important word for us now. So I want to stop you right there and say that too. Okay. So we've got curiosity. We've got identity, right? And self-discovery. I'm missing something here, though. I know Steve is curious ever since he was a kid, and he goes in there. So what's the relationship with Steve as an adult and maybe his self-discovery? Does he then discover something about
Yeah.
himself there?
Yes.
Okay.
And for instance, is creativity. Hey, I can build a castle, or I can craft weapons, or I think he builds in the movie super quick.
Mm-hmm.
He builds like his own palace and a small city with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just based on your idea. So it's not that you have a pattern and you just copy this pattern and that's it. You do the house you want or a castle. In Minecraft, everything it's in blocks,
Okay.
but there are hundreds or even thousands of different blocks. You know the game Lego?
Oh, Legos, yeah, for sure.
Lego.
I loved my Legos,
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
imagine Lego, but in a virtual world.
Mm-hmm.
You're not constrained with the physical world that I need more plastic, more pieces, more
Right.
and into thousands. So it's
Infinite, basically.
not infinite, but many things, and you can interact with the animals. Then you can farm. There's a lot of activities you can do as well.
I'm getting a clearer picture of
Yeah.
self-discovery with this because not infinite, but you have a lot more to work with, let's say, than, like you said, the physical. And I remember being so disappointed when I was a kid. I'm like, oh, I want to build this thing and I want it to be all gray, but I ran out of gray Legos, and now I have to have this red brick here. And yeah, I mean, it didn't challenge my identity as a child, but you would learn, like, what do you really want? What are you really after? And I think that makes sense now how you're saying the game or the movie in this case has this aspect of self-discovery because it's an open space.
Exactly. There are many ways to achieve the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the game, you can achieve the same goal, or let's say it's
Yeah.
kill the boss or whatever.
Yeah.
There are thousands of ways to get this done,
Yes.
and I will do it my way. But how I do it my way, so is again the same question as that Alan. What is my style? If I don't know myself, I'm more aggressive, that I just combat whatever like a warrior, or I prefer the stealth and wait for the moment,
Yeah.
or bribe to NPCs or whatever. There are many ways that you can interact.
Bribe as in give money.
Yeah, or exchange. So I can trade the items, or I can do it myself and craft it myself. There are many ways to achieve this without going into details about the items. But again, if you have never explored, you have never played a game like this, I don't know, because I play Mario, and in Mario, you jump and there's almost one way to kill the boss. So you have to actually.
That's a good point. You have to do it the right way. There's a right way to do it, and you have to find out the right way. Whereas in Minecraft, you're free to explore, and that reminds me of language, right? We said, oh, you have these blocks, you have all these different kinds of blocks. That's like vocabulary and grammar, and you put the blocks together. Why? So you can express yourself, right? You can find out who you are. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key, because in language, you will express, let's say in this case, English, yourself. So there will be another person who uses precise same sentences you did, or the vocabulary you choose.
Exactly. Or the intonation, right? Same sentence, different intonation. I don't know how many times people have told me, oh, I just don't feel like myself in this other language. I don't know what it is. I'm not funny like I am in this other language. And language is also a place to play, right? It's wide open. Let's say you have to acquire the items or the blocks or whatever, but then you are free to do whatever you want with it. And you might have a model. You might have somebody that you really like how they speak, or this is your kind of target, or yourself in one language and you want to do that, or you want to be completely different in another language. That's what it really reminds me of. So, like, surprise, here we are talking about Minecraft, but it's so much about like language. I think it's interesting.
There's one very easy comparison. So imagine that Mario, or a very close game that you have to do this in order to kill the final boss, will be like a textbook that is rigid, a textbook about the English, advanced one, let's say.
Yeah.
And then Minecraft will be equivalent, that you can do whatever you want. It could be listening to podcasts, talking to people, playing Minecraft, and speaking spontaneously in the moment. And for instance, get corrected like this, not necessarily on the moment, on the spot, but indirectly could be.
Yeah.
That, hey, it's academy, not academy. I also learned this myself in Minecraft because, I'm not an expert in rocks or materials. And there's so many different, gold, diamond, iron, copper. Everyone is familiar with this.
Right.
But then you go to the most rare or sometimes made up materials. How I'm going to pronounce that? I don't know. I see it written, how I'm going to pronounce, and it's netherite or netherite.
Good point.
So you have quite a lot of vocabulary. Minecraft, I think it's in any single language.
Yeah.
So if you're not learning English, you can still use Minecraft in the other language, and all of the items you will craft and so on or collect, they will be on that language. I think there are more than 100 languages. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And so, like we were saying, discovery too, there's curiosity you need, and you have to make mistakes, right? Because like you said, it's not always one right way or wrong way. Maybe it's not even a real kind of element, let's call them, but you still have to think, how am I going to pronounce this? And so you have to make guesses based on what you already know. So yeah, it's so much more related than I first would have thought about that too. So we've got self-discovery, and like we said, we had curiosity, and now we're discovering, we're building, and we're also exploring, right? And we're doing all these things just like we do in language, and languages for communication and life goals too. So now what about creativity? I think we're already touching on it. We're kind of already talking about it, how we start with a base, but a variety of things, and then what we build has to be from that, right? We are creative, but within a certain kind of constraint. We're limited to those building blocks, let's say. So tell me about the creativity aspect.
Okay, that is a little more hard to communicate because in order to fully understand it,
hold on a second. I'm going to stop you again. It's a little harder to
Curiosity, communicate.
Communicate, exactly. We've got two yous now, right? Curiosity, communicate, exactly. So I wanted to stop you before you keep going. So it's difficult to communicate, but...
Yeah, because to fully grasp it, you need to experience it on your own skin. Because I can have the idea and so on, but you won't get the full extent, how powerful it is, until you do it. And sometimes people is actually an accident. That was not my goal. I just wanted to play Minecraft. That happened like an a side effect, because what happens in Minecraft, it's an open world. It's persistent, meaning that if I build something today, I can continue tomorrow or next week. Even if I don't play for a month, let's say, I can come back and have the village, I have the town, or I made my own home or whatever. So you have this gradual that you can do it on increments. That, hey, now I do a very little building that it's enough, so I don't get killed, right? But it looks terrible. Or now, it's more cosmetically pleasant. Or now, now I want to store items. That will be enough. Or now, if I really want, I want to store items more efficiently or to automate things. You can also do that. In the movie, it also appears the redstone that more or less has some kind of energy.
Okay.
But basically, you can connect things and automate things with this. So when it becomes day, this triggers. Or when there's someone is on top of the block, like an entity, so an enemy or a player, activate, something like that.
It becomes more complex, basically.
It becomes as complex as you want. And I haven't even myself explored to this degree. I'm not there yet. But people have done crazy things, like a calculator in Minecraft.
What?
Oh my God, a calculator.
There you go. Nice.
Or even Minecraft inside Minecraft. So you have the screen that emulates Minecraft inside Minecraft.
You're on a roll. I'm
on a roll. Emulate.
We're going hot today. Exactly. Yeah. That you never know, because it's in English, when you see it, it's just the letter U often, and you don't see the letter Y, so you don't know when there's a y, and when it's just or oo or something like that.
It's a very good example. Even if I'm not playing now, even just talking about what I played, hey, it's all an experience. Now I notice that there's a pattern of the U that I'm repeating always the same mistake. Hey, perhaps it's not just a learning experience, it's just that I become aware of this.
Exactly.
Meaning that if instead of playing Minecraft, I will have just watched Netflix passively, I will have not this opportunity, even though this is very small and it's language-based, but it's a never-ending. It can be anything. For instance, I have my own style, let's say, of building things. Then I play with my coworkers. Sometimes they play when I'm not there, or in the weekend or whatever, because we have a server, and they created a farm that is automatic. And you see a lot of things, what is this? I cannot even comprehend how it works exactly. I see the blocks, but I cannot comprehend the mechanics. Meaning that if I want to reproduce this, I won't be able to.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of like in language, too. Like, sometimes you hear an idiom, and in the context, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I get that. But for you to be able to reproduce that, or remember what it was about, or why it even made sense, yeah, sometimes that happens a lot in language, too, right?
So there's, again, another analogy. with Minecraft and language. So in Minecraft, if I'm fluent enough with the game and how it works, the blocks, the redstone, how it works, the mechanics, and so on, I can reproduce it. That is the same with language. I can just know the phrase, but I will only hear it passively, meaning I cannot put it on context. It's not part of my active vocabulary.
Yeah.
But if I understand how it works and so on, it makes sense grammatically. It goes there and here and there. So therefore, now that I know how to use it, I can use that expression myself.
I can employ it. Yeah, exactly. I can then literally create with that,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
So imagine, and the more you know, now I have more choice that I can construct the same sentence, or I can respond to you more or less the same idea, but with different wording. I have this now domain. Same with Minecraft. I can achieve this goal as simple as do a little house. Yeah, there are many ways, but I want to be robust, I want to be pretty, It's more or less the same as in the language.
Exactly. Yeah. And what this reminded me of was what we mentioned earlier, was that it's collaborative, right? Language is kind of meant to be shared and used among people, and you interact with people with language. And in Minecraft, you interact, I think, collaboratively through the things that people have built. Isn't that right?
Yeah. You can also play alone. There's a single player option, but usually the most fun is multiplayer.
Yeah.
But I also played quite a lot at the beginning to get familiar.
Yeah.
I can jump. Okay, I can crunch on the very basics. Or if you're shy or whatever, you can practice by yourself.
Yeah.
But you have always the option to go on a server. And you can make your own rules if you want. You can add mods that modify the contents or add contents. Yeah, it's never ending.
Again, I just keep coming back to language, right? Like I can do language alone, right? I can study alone, I can talk to myself or whatever. But then I can also interact with people, and maybe that's virtual, maybe that's offline and in real life. And so just there's so many ways we can say play, right? So we should be playing with language a lot more because it's more fun.
It's like this. Instead of playing with language, you play with blocks. But in a high perspective, you're doing the same thing. And what's the key? Absolutely the key. That if you play Minecraft, it's because it's entertaining for you. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And this should be the same if you learn a language, or in case you know the language, but you want to focus on the pronunciation because you neglected that, like I did in the past, it should be pleasurable and fun. Because then it's like a drill, like in the military or at work at the office. Imagine a video game you don't like. How long are you going to play it?
Exactly. By game, I guess we could even say anything at all, right? Like a certain job. If you're not enjoying your job, if you're not getting satisfaction out of it.
It's slightly different because I don't get anything better. He gets the bills paid. True. So even if I don't want, I will stay here. But if it's a movie that, it's super boring, move on and look something else on Netflix. You're not going, no. I'm going to watch every single episode in the season before I do something else. That's not going to happen, right? Same with language. If you don't enjoy the process, you can force yourself after a while, but then you will move on. I'm procrastinating this. It's because you don't enjoy it. What can you do to enjoy the process if you're in a position you don't? Is to learn creatively.
What a great segue to the third thing we talked about. We didn't even plan that, guys. We're so good at this. That was the third thing we wanted to talk about. So we wanted to talk about self-discovery, right? The creative aspect and how, crazily enough, Minecraft is related to language. And of course, for us, we talk about accent as well. So now we want to talk about how to practice accent. And if that's some work that you want to do, is how to do that now creatively, because that makes it more fun. And like you said, the more enjoyable it is, the more likely I am to move forward and reach my goals or just have a good time while I'm doing it. We've got a list of things to go through. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, good. So, you know what though? Before we do that, let's think about when we say practicing accent, let's quickly review. Normally we talk about 4 kind of aspects, let's say, of accent. So we've got pronunciation, right? So like when you forgot the y, right? Or in vocabulary, right? That y, that's part of pronunciation. We can say those are the mechanics. If we're thinking about games, those are the mechanics, right? That's how I move my mouth. Next one, prosody is kind of the music of the language. And off the top of my head, spur of the moment, I'm thinking, how would I relate that to the game? If the pronunciation is kind of the building blocks, then the prosody is the music. Maybe that's more the landscape from what I've seen in Minecraft. Like you can have a water and a boat, or you can be on land and you can have a forest, right? So it's kind of context or music or environment that you find yourself in whatever language, right? Number 3, we call it oral posture. So basically the muscle memory of what I've been doing in my first language and how does that kind of translate to this. And maybe that's like, how do I play other games versus how do I kind of onboard into this game? And how do I, like you said, how do I get used to jumping? How do I know what to do, right? What are my habits? Things like that. That's to me kind of like the oral posture if we're talking about accent. And then the fourth one we can say is often like personality, or persona. And boom, we're right back to self-discovery. So yeah, totally. So give us one way that we can practice accent kind of creatively and more fun.
Okay, so let's start with, you can do role-playing or character emulation. So for instance, in Minecraft, there's no story plot. So there's some characters, Steve, and some, I think the Steve is the most popular.
Garrett.
Wait, sorry. Popular.
Oh, good one. Popular. And I was just about to catch you on the last one. Emulation.
Come on. Yeah, we said that. Emulation.
You cut the popular before you even said it. So
okay.
10 points for that one.
It's not that, this character has these traits or no, it's empty because it's a sandbox. In the movie, there's some plot, but it's kind of superficial and it's made up because there's nothing.
Right.
But what you can do is to be, let's say, a farmer, or you can be a trader, or you can be a warrior if you would just want to kill skeletons and whatever, because you can do whatever you want. Or you can fly as well. So imagine that you're a farmer. What's going to happen? That I'm going to use vocabulary that in my daily life I'm not going to use. They'll use, what was that? Vocabulary.
Vocabulary, exactly.
So for instance, all of the fruits, vegetables, or meat.
Verbs related to farming, maybe,
verbs,
like what do I need to do?
So even if you do it just a few times, it's not something you're going to do for the long term. Or I'm a warrior, same thing. The name of the weapons or the materials of the weapons, you see. It's something that you can at least practice vocabulary and the pronunciation. Vocabulary, here you go.
There we go. We'll get it.
And it's not, I mean, if you're shy, you can do it alone, like pretending that you're narrating what you do, or just telling a friend, hey, I need help with this, or building this bridge, or something like that. Sometimes it's, to what? Oh, here you have feedback that you mispronounced something. And then if you are more extroverted, you can join people that are there in the server, but you don't know.
Again, just like language, like you said, right? You can talk to strangers or you can talk to people you know if you're feeling like you need a little bit more safety, something like that.
And there are pros and cons because people, is more comfortable to speak with them, but they're used to you. So even if you do speak, he was on the fence, it was kind of inaccurate, I understand you because I'm used to your speech.
Right. I know you're.
And if you speak to a stranger, is not familiar with your speech, and the same for me.
Yeah.
I will hear people that, oops, I don't know, I'm not understanding this guy, or this person is from America, this is from Australia, or this is, I don't know, from Lithuania, or that's his second language, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, no, I just play with friends or family. It's your choice. There are pros and cons.
Exactly.
This is one strategy.
Role-playing is one thing you can do, right? To practice, let's say, just to play with it, let's say. Not even to practice, because I don't like using the words try, or even practice is hard too, because it seems like you're not actually doing it. You're just practicing it, right? But you are doing it. When you do language, when you're languaging, you're still doing it. And so I feel like, saying the word try means like, oh, well, you didn't actually do it. Saying practice is kind of like demeaning a little bit. But let's say like using the language, and role-playing is a really good way. Give us another good way that when you saw the Minecraft movie or a Minecraft movie, then you said, this reminds me that there's a really good way to also practice.
Exactly. It's something you cannot do in the game, but on the movie, it's there. That it's not a musical.
good you in there, exactly.
But there are some songs, and perhaps you already know that because it's kind of mainstream, that with songs, pick the songs you like, that resonates with you by the meaning or how they sound, or you like the singer or whatever, and try to sing along. Because sometimes I know people that they like the song, they more or less understand, but since the English level is so-so, what they think they are hearing is not what is being said.
There's a word for that. Do you know what that's called?
Yeah, I forgot the name, but I know.
Mondegreen. It's such
Ah, Monday Green. Yeah, the best
Mondegreen.
call.
Why is that the word? But yeah, that's the word for that.
Monday Green.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is an opportunity that what you think you got right, oh, it turns out it's not.
Exactly.
And since you choose your songs, it's something you can do. And if you enjoy Minecraft, you can do it themed to Minecraft. There's also a YouTuber, Captain something, I forgot the precise name,
Yeah.
that he did a lot of videos about Minecraft, and he did parodies and music videos.
What kind of
So,
videos?
music.
Yeah, there you go.
This is
Music. Uh-huh.
so when we say about the game, not necessarily is playing the game, could be videos about the game. Minecraft is super famous, it's the most sold game in history. You have a plethora of options in anywhere. So you can get as many songs as you want and so on.
Oh,
That-
that reminds me. Actually, that reminds me of something that you and I did a while ago. Like you can get AI to generate music for you, right?
Yep.
Like let's say you have a passion for, I'm just going to make something up, making quiches, right? Or baking bread, right? And you're like, hey, I just want to be better at talking about my passion of baking bread. You can get AI to make you a song and it's going to stick so well, I think, in your brain that way, and that's one thing.
it requires a little more, let's say, tech savvy. So you
Yeah.
have to get an account, do some prompt engineering to have good
Yeah.
quality. But yeah, you can get a short song or ask ChatGPT for the lyrics and then
Even.
copy these lyrics
Uh-huh.
and generate the song, or just the lyrics and you do it out loud.
There's apps out there too. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I'm gonna plug our community here real quick. In our Discord server, in our community, Master an American Accent, we have like tons of channels and people can just share apps and resources as well. And there's one, for example, that I really like for songs. I think now it's called Lingo Clip. And so you can search what songs they have, and it's cool because you can do it in karaoke mode and you can see all the words. And then also you can do it where it's got levels, easy, medium, and difficult, where the words are missing and you have to type them in and sing them really fast, right? You have to recall them really fast. And then you're learning the song kind of as you go. And I've learned, I would say any of the songs that I know in Spanish, that's how I learned them, was that app, right? So we can find resources like that in the community, like also like the one you were talking about earlier. It takes a little more maybe tech savvy, like you said, but there's all these cool options for, thinking about the musical integration of things. Yeah. And I haven't seen the movie yet, but I do like Jack Black. I know some people, maybe it's cultural. Some people find him kind of cringe, but I like Jack Black and I like his sense of humor. And I also like his singing because the man is like a walking meme himself. And so
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, that was kind of the perfect person to play Steve, I think, in this movie, Yeah.
Yeah, and to mention what you mentioned is that if it's memorable because it's funny or it's a meme and so on, it will be easy to stick in your mind. That what was the thing? It was with the UA or not?
Yeah.
Because in English the spelling is not telling much, so you have the choice.
Yeah.
So if I have something that sticks in my mind, it will be easier. And if it's something that I enjoy or by just pure serendipity, this just happened, it will be easier to remember. And it was not a chore. It was you were having fun at that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're all about, is like having fun and doing things that enhance our experience. So number one, we learn it better. And number two, we're having a good time while we're doing it. And so another thing that we can say is gamification, right? And we just mentioned apps. There's tons of apps out there for gamifying language and things like that. But what are your thoughts on gamifying our accent practice?
Yeah, it will be the other way around. So instead of having the boring stuff and you add gamification, no, you go to the game directly. And then you add
Yes.
serious stuff in the game.
In this case.
Yeah, in this case, yeah. So, for instance, something that also relates in on our point is that you can have conversation that, okay, I'm too awkward or I don't know what to say or something like that. No worries. Play the game and, okay, I need this or let's do that. So it's more like I could be a two-liner if I want to, or one can speak more than the other. Or, I don't know, if you want to fight, you go to Overworld, I think it's called. Well, what are the enemies, let's say?
Oh, in the Nether? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, the Nether.
Anyways, yeah. Because I think the regular world is called the Overworld. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, you know that. Yeah, you catch that. Yeah.
I do know.
The regular world. Yeah, exactly. So to simplify, if you haven't seen the movie or play the game. It's more dangerous, so you can die there. So usually you fight the enemies or you want more valuable items, stuff like that. That
Yeah.
at some degree there's some danger, right? But yeah, it's let's fight this, or let's build this, how we defend ourselves, or give me some items. Oh, I'm running low of health. Give me some food, stuff like this. So even if it's very simple phrases,
Yeah.
it's some practice that,
Yeah.
hey, perhaps I know a lot of English, and the English I'm using, it's very basic, doesn't represent my proficiency, but at least I'm speaking out loud, something I don't do. And then once you get more used, or depends on your personality, you do more talking to the person, you have conversations. Conversational that, hey, I'm awkward, or I'm shy, or I don't see people. Well, if you play Minecraft, here you go. And on top of that, you could do it with your children, with your kids, or with family members, with friends,
Coworkers like you did?
workers.
Yeah,
Exactly. And something I learned is, hey, what if I talk to children in English, right?
okay.
Because in my job, because
Yeah.
I was a researcher, I only talk to adults.
Mm.
Children, sometimes they don't have no filters, and they will tell you the truth to your face.
True.
Oh,
So that could be a real eye opener playing with
yeah,
children,
exactly.
playing games with children.
Sometimes the feedback strikes quite directly.
A
but
little hard, yeah.
It's honest feedback that, hey, it's valuable.
It's valuable.
Valuable.
There you
That
go.
I was playing with parent and children, so both
Yeah.
in the sim server. And I think the gig was 10 or 11, something like that. So usually someone that I don't speak, at least in English. And I noticed that, for instance, the Yua, I forgot some pattern.
Yeah.
He was not understanding what I was saying.
Okay.
Remember I don't know, the TR to say something like,
Yeah.
you know what, some combination that when a word had this pattern is,
Yeah.
huh? I didn't catch
It's a
that.
mistake.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
He was a child, but he was a native speaker, or at least
Yeah.
good enough to notice a mistake that you were
No,
making
a
when you were
native,
playing in the
a
game.
native speaker. Yeah.
Okay. And he could notice.
So even if he has no knowledge to tell, oh, you're doing the show when you should do this. No, but it's a feedback that, hey, since I don't have enough accent tolerance because of my little exposure to foreigners, I don't understand you. So this word and this word is, my brain doesn't give me a words that is similar. You meant that. Even if it's not the same, I think you meant that. And it's something that, it's usually I don't talk to kids because at least where I live, kids there still don't know English.
I was going to say, especially in English. Like maybe you talk to children in your daily life, but
I do.
in Spanish it wouldn't be in English. Yeah.
Exactly. It will be in Spanish, but if I want in English, they still don't speak English. They just know the colors, the numbers.
And definitely not enough to correct you. Exactly.
Could be the case in Minecraft. For instance, the fruit. We could go to the fruit, but other than that, there's nothing I can do. I cannot have a conversation with a kid here in English.
Yeah.
Unless it's very, very weird that it's bilingual because the parents want it to be bilingual.
Right, yeah.
Comes from international parents.
Yeah, it's possible, but probably very unlikely. So you might not get other exposure.
That has been a lesson that is what I'm going to learn for my kid, right? What can a 10-year-old teach me, right? I have been studying English for years.
Yeah.
What can a 10-year-old teach me? You know? Boom!
He or she might not be teaching you, but you're certainly learning from that interaction.
And usually it's the case, the little kids know a lot more about the mechanics of Minecraft. They don't know, you need this item. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's that. So you can also learn about the game, how it works.
A lot, yeah.
With the kids because they have a lot of free time. Something I don't do. Something I don't have. And, okay, so instead of Googling how to do this, how to do that, they just tell you, you need this item, or they provide some of the items you need to craft or whatever. For a 10-year-old, so they have fun. Sometimes they don't care, or sometimes they don't even know you're an adult. In my case, they know because of my voice. So when I talk, you're not a kid. Yeah,
probably. They know from you. Yeah, exactly.
I say, hello, Oh, hello, I'm fine as well. Yeah, you can tell that.
Your new persona, right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, how funny. And what you were saying reminded me of originally the first thing I wanted to do, because when I was working with a child, actually, it was a client, but a child. And I thought, because English was his second language, right? And we were talking about what he likes to talk about. And one big thing he liked to talk about was Minecraft. And he was saying words and it wasn't registering with me. But that's because I didn't know the game. He would say something like Ender Pearl. And I was thinking, what could this child possibly be trying to tell me? My brain is doing somersaults trying to figure out, but that's because I don't know. And in the game, it's an incredibly popular word, right? Or phrase, we could say. So I started compiling this list for him. When he would get words and I couldn't figure them out, I'd say, okay, how do you spell that? Like, what are we talking about here? I'd have to look it up. And then I realized that this list of words, we could break them down by the sounds that they were in. So for example, the in ender, right, is the same as in nether. So after a while, I started kind of categorizing them and we said, okay, let's go over all the words that with the sound in them. But your brain will probably do that too as an adult, like kind of be categorizing things as it picks them up, you know? So I think we were originally talking about the musical integration, right? And we talked about gamifying these things, but I think it all kind of comes back to being like, what else can I get out of this? So for example, you're with the child, right? You know he's a child. Maybe he doesn't know you're a child, but he knows more about that kind of in-game language, let's say. It could even be kind of like a dialect, let's say. But you can be shadowing these kids as you're doing it, kids or adults or whoever it is, right? So tell us about the technique that could be called interactive shadowing in a way.
So at some degree, this is true for me, just not with the kid, but a native speaker, in this case from Canada, not the US, but
Okay.
the overlap is quite high. And yeah, sometimes we are in a dungeon, let's say, the enemy drops an item, and whoop, it's the first time I see this item because there are thousands of items. And I see it is, oh, shoot, how you pronounce that, right? But sometimes he pronounced this, is, what do you mean? What item is that? I have never seen this in my life. And, oh, no, shoot, I have this. It's just, I didn't know it was pronounced this way. And perhaps could be the case that here and there could be wrong, because he does the wrong assumption, because even native speakers don't know all of the pronunciation, because you have weird names in the
very low frequency. They're not like, I would never say ender anything.
the red copper. So it's about the size or the density or the pattern that the copper block has is how utterly specific. Oh my god. But it's because perhaps there are 20 different blocks about copper. They have to be named differently. So
because like you said earlier, English is not transparent in its spelling. So even when I see the word, I still need to hear it, not just once, but a few times, right? To be able to say like, oh, that's what this is.
So what they do, and it's real, I do it, once they, oh, you meant this, and then I ask, can you repeat? Or I repeat myself. More or less implicitly, I wait for his answer that it's close enough. So it's this how you pronounce it. So it's like shadowing, but with feedback. In this case, since I'm not alone, with feedback. If you're alone, you just have the shadowing, the practice, but you have no one that tells you, oh yeah, you did a good job or not. Later on, when you speak and you use the same word, then you will have the feedback.
Somebody will tell you, or maybe they won't tell you what it was, but they maybe have a look on their face, or they're just maybe silent, or nothing happens, and then you might know.
And sometimes what they do is that I have a Discord, so we have the conversation in Discord and we play the game. So it's something that, okay, perhaps I don't know that well, but it's people that I also talk outside of the game.
You're making me think now, oh, we should play Minecraft with our community. Actually, we should have a whole channel for it.
So the playing the game is just the environment. So instead of using Zoom or Discord or I don't know, any platform happens to be Minecraft. As easy as that.
Yeah, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, but this is very convenient. It's something a lot of people know, right? So it's really, really easy.
And that doesn't like Minecraft, because not everyone likes Minecraft. Could be Roblox or other games, but it's always the same thing. There are more details, are longer to explain. So I think if you join the community, first, you can put it into practice, or if you don't know, we can also help you. Hey, you can do this, you can do that. Because, who I can ask about, I don't know, who can I ask? Oh, it happens that in American Accent community, I exist and I can find a partner to practice with.
Yes,
And
exactly.
perhaps let's say that both are into movies. Then we will talk about movies.
Mhm.
And we have a conversation, but I don't care about the topic. It's just a conversation. No, it's, oh, what about this new movie, or if you are into soccer or football or whatever.
Exactly.
Or in case it's a game, yeah, let's play this game and
Hmm.
practice there, have this
Exactly.
feedback. Oh, yeah, many possibilities that what do I need to install or how, some technicalities because I never
Yeah.
use a computer or whatever.
Hmm.
Here you go. Or you will find other people who are parents. It's so how you do it with your child, stuff like this. Or how do you break the awkwardness? It's something I cannot ask Google or AI.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You just have to do it, right? You just have to get in there, put yourself out there, meet people with some similar interest. And already our community already has one interest in mind, right? That's why a lot of people come. But then we have all these like sub interests, you know? There's some people that I talk to in our community about like, I don't know, like food that we're cooking and eating. Or the other day we were talking about supplements and things like that. And yeah, I think you're always finding different little extra people to talk to with all these different things. We could record ourselves. We can share it. We can ask for feedback. You know, it's peer to peer. There's lots of peer to peer stuff to do. But more importantly, you can just get some practice, some conversational practice, you know, and use this as an excuse.
so you can read as much as you want about yoga. The advantages, the benefits, the positions that are called asanas, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you need this position, then the transition to this other position is like this, the
Mm-hmm.
how you move the. You can read for hours if you want and know everything really well. But if you don't move a finger and actually do the position yourself, you don't practice yoga, you only learn how to do yoga without doing it.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing, right? Same with the language. You can know all of the dictionary if you want. A very, very wide vocabulary, all of the grammar drills, spot on. But if you don't actually use the language,
Yeah, exactly.
you're missing the point.
Not to knock, you know, people who want to do it for their own enjoyment and they are
Mhm.
kind of lone wolves out there and they don't want to be with other people. But most of us find it more enjoyable to do something with other people, especially talking, especially using language. So we can say there's two kind of multipliers here, right? If we're working on language, if we're working on accent, then two multipliers. Number one, having fun, making it pleasurable. Number two, getting with other people, right? And I think like, you know, I know we started talking about Minecraft as like the base of this, but it's really, again, an excuse to talk about self-discovery, as we said, creativity, right? How can I put these things into action? What are the things that I can actually do? So for me, it was the perfect topic because actually it wasn't about the thing. It was about all the other things. And I find that those are the best conversations, you know, to have, especially with somebody who's passionate like you. So before we kind of wrap up here, where can people find you?
So, yeah, all of the links will be in the description. The website is sulky.ai for like artificial intelligence. Basically, soon we will offer also tutoring and help.
Ooh.
For instance, if it's language, I can use the memes, let's say from Minecraft. But hey, let's say something we didn't cover today, the space repetition, because I want to remember this, right, in the long term.
I'm going to pause you because you said that really fast, and some people who don't know might not know.
Sorry about that.
Spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition
That's
basically
important.
is to get whatever you want in the long-term memory with the least amount of repetition. So you invest the least amount of time in the long term.
Right.
Science says it's the best, the long term is the best method. Even if it's AI, because we also have AI, you talk to humans. So myself or someone else will answer, hey, what is more or less your requirements or what is your goal? And based on this, then you can get help. And
Nice.
could be language related, could be for a certification, for your job, for college, or for whatever you want. It's very open. In this case, could be, hey, how I do Minecraft, how I set up this, or how I transform what I discovered in the game, in Minecraft, to the application with flashcards. Or the other way around. What I learned with Duolingo, with Quizlet, or whatever software you use for learning English, how I put this into practice in real life or while playing. Because could be the case that you have used an app for some months, you have a conversation, but in the conversation you are the same as half a year ago. You are not putting into practice what you're learning. I'm missing something here about the learning flow. So all of this plethora of cases, we covered all of this. And then we have a community. It's about learning in general, self-directed, whatever can be. So feel free to join.
Master an American Accent.
Master American Accent Community. Such a long name. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. And it's not like people need to master an American accent. It's just something that people can identify with, right? It's a starting point more than anything for us.
So if that is your goal, that is more specific and concrete, join the Master American Accent Community. If you want something more open or in the umbrella of learning, feel free to join the Soki community.
And this is really important too, because I think the way things are moving now, right? What's the old model? Sit in a classroom, learn the things in the book, regurgitate the things in the book, get your paper, leave school, find a job, whatever.
No.
But now, that's changing.
Do the homework.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to do the homework, right? I forgot to pass the tests, right? But yeah, that was the old way of doing things. But now, especially with AI, everything's going to be about self-directed learning. But we also have to balance that with that human touch, and that having communities and things like that. So I think this is so much the way of the future. And I just want to thank you for being a part of our community. Literally, we say this a lot since day one, right?
Day one,
actually. You set it up. Exactly. It's only getting better and better.
I was the first to be there.
Exactly, literally, because you created it. And now we have lots of people there. We have all these different channels. It's super fun, right? Because like we said, right, the more fun something can be, the more likely I'm going to stick around and the more likely I'm going to reach my own personal goals. And everyone has different goals, but we have this shared interest and passion that I think is the glue that holds everybody together. So you're like our glue. You're our super glue because you help everybody out. If anybody has any technical questions, they come to you. Everybody knows who you are. So now they get to see your face if they're watching this on YouTube. And if not, if they're listening by audio, they get to hear you and they know what you're going to sound like when we come to like office hours or something like that.
And you know that even if I speak here and I have been practicing English for years, I still do mistakes because this is an ongoing process like language. You never master it, right?
Yeah.
Even for native speakers, it's a never-ending process.
Totally. Yeah.
But
I mean, I learn from you guys sometimes all the time, and we learn from each other too, which is always so much fun. And I think, the main thing is the people, in our group and the shared passion. So you're a huge part of that. So I want to say thank you for sharing your passion today with Minecraft, which is kind of like it's a new passion and seeing past kind of what it is for what it can be in a way, and sharing that with us today. So thank you, William, for coming and always wanting to do this.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Cool. We'll say goodbye to everybody else for today. Bye, everybody. See you soon in the next episode and hopefully see you in the community.
Yeah, see you there.
See you there. Bye. And thanks for listening all the way to the end, everybody. I like to tell you a little something about me at the very end of every episode. And I have to tell you, this week has been crazy for me because I'm house sitting for a friend of mine. Well, dog sitting, I should say. So I need to drive back and forth from my house to her house on the days when I need to record a podcast episode or a YouTube video. So it's been a little exhausting, but I get to swim in a pool and take care of 2 huge dogs for now, which I love. And in the meantime, if you have an idea for a specific topic about accents or pronunciation that you'd like to hear about, let me know and I'll try to make it happen. And if you're into languages and how people speak, you should give my community a try. We're an international group of students and teachers who are enthusiastic about accents, or as I like to say, Enthusiaccent. We have different channels for sharing bad puns, your Wordle score of the day, and to post about language, dialect, and accent. You'll also get to see my behind-the-scenes posts, including how I make YouTube videos as I'm making each one. We have resources, a place to meet real people for conversation, and even a members-only monthly meeting all in one place. Plus, it's free to join, so there's no pressure. And hey, if we're not your people, then that's cool too. You can just keep enjoying my podcast and my videos for free. You can find the link to join in the description or the show notes for the episode. Hope to see you there. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode.